Okay, guys, this is more of a look at a problem that I see quite often inside the store or in the tech bench or at the tech bench for guns. And now this does not apply to a DSR. This applies to any regulator that has a reg seat in them, and that really goes for almost all of them. Okay, so I get guns in all the time where customers will drop off a gun or send a gun in saying that the gun was working fine, and then all of a sudden it just stopped working. It wouldn't shoot anymore. Now, sometimes that is the case. I will give that. But 90% of the time, that's not the case. This gun, for instance, right here, a customer sent in this DSR saying that the gun was shooting fine, just stopped shooting. So I put a tank onto it, and immediately the bolt slams forward and starts hissing air, as well as air coming out of the bottom of the gun down here. Now that is very strange, okay? To have the bolt jump forward and and for the regulator to be bleeding air for a gun that just stopped working all of a sudden. So what do I do next? I would obviously take the gun apart, and I always start with the regulator because the regulator really is the heart of the gun because it's given pressure to everything to work properly. So let's take this out right here. And again, by no way am I insinuating that this DSR is the cause of the problem or that DSRs have problems. This just happens to be the gun that the customer sent in to be worked on. And I have seen this on Planet Eclipse guns, dye guns, DLX guns. It does not matter the gun. This is just the example here. So, went it in, seal at the top, looks fine. I go to open up the regulator. Piston looks okay. Pull out the housing, which makes it super easy to get to everything. And what do I see? Well, first of all, I see little shreds of O-ring or plastic. Whether it be an O-ring or not, I really can't tell at this point, but I can see that there's material inside there. I think, okay, well maybe my piston stem O-ring has gone bad, which would be this O-ring on the inside right here. This O-ring's fine. So I set it to the side and I look, and right away I can see a problem right here. Now it might be hard for you to see on the camera, but this is where your reg seat would normally sit, right here in the inside. This is what a new reg seat looks like, right here, okay, with a very tiny hole in the middle. This is the new Hyper 6 reg seat, right here. You can see there's a very tiny hole in there. Now this is what his reg seat looks like. It's completely hollowed out. So what would I do next? Well, we're going to pull the reg seat out. So we're going to move this up. And right now, I mean, this is the purge assembly right here. That just fell out. That purge assembly is held in by the reg seat. So it's just a pin and a spring right there. So if I unscrew the top, this is the thing that holds the reg seat in place. And I can pop the reg seat out. So that's his reg seat, their reg seat. And that's what a new one should look like, right there. Now, how does this happen? And this is really the whole reason for this video, because I see this all the time. How does that happen? How do you bore a giant hole into your reg seat? Well, I'll tell you how that happens. This happens one reason and one reason only. Your reg seat goes inside the reg seat housing and it threads on. Oop. Let me put my purge valve back in. tighten that down. So there's our new reg seat in there. Very different in looks. So you've got two things inside this gun, or in the regulator. You've got your reg seat, and you've got your piston. We're going to pretend like this is inside here. This sits inside like this, and when you adjust it up and down. Oop, I'm out of frame. You adjust it up and down like this inside there by threading this brass piece up or down. It goes up and down inside the ASA body. Now this sits above it, and this is below it, and these two pieces come together. Get my fingers out of the way, like this. And the piston down here, the head of the piston, or the stem, seats up against the reg seat, and that's what cuts the air supply off or seals properly. So if you go to adjust this regulator and you screw it clockwise or screw it up into the ASA body, going up this way to reduce pressure inside the gun to lower velocity, and you just keep turning, even when you feel the resistance on the inside, this face of the seat, or the face of the piston right here, is going to bore a giant hole into your reg seat. Kind of like this. So I could take this, and look, it fits right over the top of that. So when you are reducing pressure in any kind of regulator, this one, an M2, a Lux, any gun that has this kind of seat in it, which is 90% of the guns out there, the best way to do it is always to do it while the gun is not under pressure. But if you have to chrono, you're shooting, whatever, the gun is under pressure, you're going to adjust it anyway. You will feel a difference between when you have adjusted this and there's still motion in the piston that can go up and down, or when you've adjusted this and the piston really can't travel up and down anymore and you are just pushing this through. There's a big difference in how that feels, and I can't stress that enough because we get these in all the time for warranty repair when someone has done this to their gun. So I'm hoping that this helps you guys understand that you need to feel the adjuster and notice when you're feeling the pressure, the tension inside there, and when it's easily to move. And when you're doing it under pressure, when the gun is gassed up, it is extremely difficult to understand the difference between just the pressure inside the regulator and the pressure of these two pieces coming together. So I would recommend that if you are decreasing pressure to decrease velocity, degas the gun, adjust it, gas the gun up, and shoot. Degas, just shoot. If you're increasing velocity and you're backing this thing away, you're never going to damage it, so go for it while it's under pressure. But if you're going the opposite direction, be very careful and degas the gun and keep this from happening as a user error. I hope this helps, guys. Just want to give you a little bit of information. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.